Welcome to the another episode in Inner Peace's Better Health. I'm your host Poulomi, and today we have an extraordinary guest with us from a traumatized childhood to become an award-winning Ethiopia and how acclaimed author Lori Pappas has a story of resilience, transformation, and therapy. Her new book, The Magic of Yes, Embrace the Wise Woman Within, invite readers for explore their inner states, reduce their yes, and chart a life filled with anything and purpose. Lori, it's a honor of have you here today. Lori, your journey is truly inspiring. Let's dive into a fantastic aspect of your experience. You made mention that your spirit guide influenced you with energy and inner peace. Well, you were working with marginality, tribes and Ethiopia. Can you tell us more about the experience?
Yes, I was just starting to work in Ethiopia, and I was living there by myself, and I decided I wanted to help these very marginalized people have a chance to have a healthy life. And I had done an extensive survey of their needs. And one of the things that they absolutely needed was help with the intestinal worms. And so I was giving out a very generic drug called mebendazole that an over-the-counter that would give them a lot of relief. And it was very, very hot. It would be about 110 degrees, very humid, and the women were wearing goat skin as their top, covering their torso, and of course nobody had bathed, and very close, and I literally ran out of energy and had to lay down, and their spirit man, their shaman, came and sat with me and until I recovered. And then that night, I contacted my therapist back in the States on the satellite phone and asked her to contact the shaman that I was working with, their community in Brazil, to send me energy. And it was like a bolt of lightning. And all of a sudden, when I woke up that next morning, I was filled with energy. I was able to respond graciously to the needs of the people. And it became a way of life for me that this community in Ethiopia, in Brazil, was sending energy to me while I worked over in Ethiopia.
Yeah, it's incorrigible. How did those experiences with your spirit guides influence your work with the tribes? Did you notice any change in your way to tribes res- respond to you after those experience?
Well, I think what it really was the fact that over time I became their wise woman, and we were able to implement programs into that area that other non-government organizations had not been successful with. Uh, the elders began to trust us, and we were given full access. So we ended up working with over 100,000 people in the extreme southwest corner of Ethiopia.
Yeah, your story is a testament to the power of spiritual connection. How do you think others can tap into their own spirit guide for support and guidance?
Well, I think it's a matter of it's a complicated, twisty journey. This is not something that's um, just a push the button thing. I think that someone needs to first really discover the essence of their own being and become self-aware, discover their essence, um, and focus on on who they really are versus who they are supposed to be based on outside influences. So it definitely is a journey of becoming self-aware, learning to define your own moral compass and understand what it is that you really want to be in this life. So it really becomes much more of an issue of being versus doing.
Yeah. Can you share a specific instance where the guidance made a significant difference?
Well, every day, every day. When small annoyances come up, um, if I'm able to concentrate on, well, let me put it this way. My my goal is to be a source of endless peace, love, and harmony. And that's quite a transition for me because I had a very successful career as a fierce competitor. Now I am working on being a source of peace, love, and harmony, which is quite a transition. So my guides help me every day. And um, currently, I've been focusing on wanting to have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to understand that there are things that are going on in the world that I can't change. But what I can do is I can help others experience more um, inner peace and sense of feeling harmony and love within their own being. And the more that we do that, and the more we'll be able to create a world of peace.
Yeah. Your story is a testament to the power of spiritual connection. Do you think others can tap into their own spirit guides for support and guidance?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a book that's just coming out that's titled The Magic of Yes. And in it, it explores 16 different pathways that that one can travel to attain more inner peace. For example, we talk about how we set boundaries and say no. We talk about learning from other people in different cultures, about learning to ask for help, um, about how to embrace love and life, understanding the power of persuasion by understanding other people's perspective, how to activate empathy and compassion. So um, it's definitely available to people, and it's something that one needs to want and to work on with intention. It's not a it's not a freebie, a gimme. It's something one needs to want to grow and to take care of themselves and to understand that they are a valuable individual. And so absolutely. But it's not a push the button and voila, you're there. It's a journey.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who is spe- skeptically about the extent of spirit guides?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand the question.
What advice would you give to someone who is skeptical about the extent of spirit guides?
Well, I think what it is you need to put aside the label spirit guides. Most people have some kind of higher power, whether it be God, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, uh, the various Hindu gods. It, I think its first step is to remove the label spirit guide. The idea of having a higher power, some source of wisdom greater than yourself is is key. So I think that people get hung up on names and titles and saying, well, if you don't believe in God, then you're wrong, or if you don't believe in spirit guides, you're wrong, or this or that. That's a bunch of baloney. It's a matter of having a higher power some source of wisdom greater than yourself, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Your book, The Magic of Yes, how do you see the role of spirit guides in helping individuals discover the harness their inner powers?
Well, I think it all really starts with becoming self-aware and understanding where you are in your journey and what your needs are, and the fact that you have inner power. And so it really, you go back to the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and the very first need is physical comfort, and you work from becoming self-aware up into self-actualization of reaching your potential. So I think the idea that you have a source of wisdom greater than yourself that is available to hold your hand, and what you need to do is ask for help. So it's all about being willing to ask for help, and then listening and receiving what is said and taking the next step. So that's, I think that's the truth. That's the way to go about it.
Yeah. So, lastly, Lori, what message do you hope to leave with your listener about the importance of spirituality, guidance, and inner peace in their own lives?
Well, I would say that you need, first of all, work on self-awareness
Yeah.
and and the navigating your chaos. I mean, we all have chaos in our lives, and the willingness of uh, tapping into that source of wisdom that is meaningful to you, and then trying to rid yourself of the shackles that hold you back, um, is important. And after that, you're able to find your own peace. It's really dropping your emotional baggage, tapping into that source of wisdom, and moving forward. But all of this requires action. This is not something that you sit on your couch and all of a sudden it arrives. It's not a TV show. It's not entertainment. It's a matter of personal work. And there's a lot of help available, whether it be my book or someone else's book or different podcasts, or there's so much information available, but it all starts with you having intention. You as the individual deciding, I want to be in charge of me. I want to be the curious entrepreneur of my life. I want to be able to embrace love in life and find my peace. So it starts with intention, and then action. And maybe you don't make the right choices in the beginning, but that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to start over. All of those things are okay. So it's giving yourself the chance to become the very best possible version of yourself that you can be.
So, how can they start their journey towards finding is inner peace and connection?
Well, I think one of them, I think really it it takes three things. One is to work on being open-minded. Not to think that, oh, just because I believe this means that it's true. That's not the case. Um, it's so important to be open-minded and to be willing to hear things that you don't particularly agree with, so that it stimulates thought. That goes to the second thing, which is seeking knowledge. So as we seek information, we need to be open-minded to be able to receive what that information is. And then the third thing is probably the most important, is to make sure to carve out time to reflect. So open-mindedness, seeking knowledge, and reflection. That's the three main ingredients of being able to recognize the wisdom that is inside of you and that's available to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lori, for sharing your incredible journey and insightful with us today. Your experience and wisdom are truly inspiring to our listener. If you found this conversation as a enlightenment and I did, make sure to check out Lori books and Magic of Yes. Embrace with wise woman within. Remember, inner peace and better health are within your reach. Start your journey today by embracing your inner starting and speak the guidance that resonates with you. Until next time, stay inspired and keep striving that inner peace. Take care. Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you. Thank you so much.